Okay, so we're gonna do a part 2 of Zion's affairs. Okay, so we last left her off with her in the hotel room after she done heard some traumatic news of her husband having a 3-year affair with another woman. Zion was still in disbelief, and so she wound up opening up the hotel bar and just grabbed a couple of those little small shots and just started taking them all back. And then she went and sat down and on the bed, and she looked at the bed, and Zion rolled her eyes because she just had the thought of like somebody else being in that bed before she even got there, and it just bothered her immensely. But her circumstances were her circumstances right now, and she just had to get over the thoughts that she had running through her head. So she pulled back the cover slowly just to see what it revealed, and she looked in. To her surprise, the sheets were pretty clean, and then she took the other test and she went down to see if she smelled anything, and she smelled something, but she just didn't know where it was coming from. It wasn't the bed, though, and she just kind of looked around the room again and thought, like, what is that smell? She tried to push it out of her mind, and so she pulled the covers back and took her jogging pants off, and she wound up getting in the bed, and she settled in. She thought, I pray I can get some rest tonight. I just can't believe this man said that right after I told him that I loved him so much, and then I was literally thanking God for him. Zion looked over her phone, and she had 102 missed calls from Steven. And she thought, call your 3-year relationship B. She couldn't believe it. She was looking at the amount of energy he was giving her right now. Like, how dare you? So she dismissed all of that, and she wound up calling her good friend. It was a guy that she had went to college with, and they were best friends. She just hadn't seen him in about maybe 3 years because he had wound up moving to Virginia. And I don't know, she just felt compelled to give him a call right now, so she picked up the phone and she called him. Hey, this is Zion. How are you? I'm not so well. I'm doing awful, as a matter of fact. She said, you're not going to believe this, but Steven told me tonight, just about maybe less than an hour ago, that he'd been seeing someone else for 3 years. Man, 12 years down the drain, and down the drain, and I don't even know where to go from here. I mean, it's just, I don't know, he just flipped my world upside down with that news today. Are you here in St. Louis? Oh my God. I mean, I'm not at the house. I rented a hotel as soon as he gave me that news. You're not going to believe it, though. I'm such a clown. It's like, even though I had bad news, I still had this energy. I squirted him with a squirt gun. That was my lick back. I don't know. It's just, when I seen the gun, I thought I can scare him, and but it did. It scared him. Trust me. It wowed him or something. I don't know. He just felt stupid. I don't know. I don't think I should be laughing right now. I feel like I should just be devastated, right? 12 years of my life. Malcolm, listen, if you're here in town, where are you? Really? That's not too far from the hotel where I'm at. Well, Well, if you don't mind me showing up in some joggers, I mean, because that's all I grabbed. Okay, well, perfect. I can be there. I can be there in about maybe 15 minutes. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you. All right, I'll see you soon, buddy. All right, bye bye. She gets off the phone with Malcolm. Malcolm's in town, and he's an attorney, and he has a convention that he's here for. So she's headed towards him to go to his hotel bar. He's there with some of attorney friends, and she told him if he didn't mind her coming in joggers, and he said, "Come as you are." So she was on her way. She pulls up to his hotel. She looks around and she's like, "Wow, this is big money." And so she felt a bit out of place because she didn't quite meet the measurements of the establishment. But she walked in with nothing but confidence. So as she walks in, she had her head up high, and her hair was just absolutely gorgeous, and she felt gorgeous. I mean, despite of the no makeup, the joggers, the T-shirt, and the hoodie, she's like, I'm just going to walk on in. So she walked in, and she scanned the room, and she located Malcolm, and she headed right on over to him. And Malcolm stood there, and she just looked at him. I mean, he was just strong and beautiful. He had a head full of locks and this cut goatee on his, I mean, just beard. He was bearded with a goatee or something. I don't know. The way it was just really nice. But it was salt and pepper. And she thought, wow, he looks amazing. This has been so many years. And so she walks right up to him, and he looks at her, and he says, oh my God. He said, look at you. He said, wow, come here, girl. So they embraced, and everybody there was just staring at Malcolm and Zion. And I mean, he held her for quite some time, so they were really like, everybody was just looking. And so he finally pulled apart, and he said, look at you. He said, you look great, girl. And she said, well, I mean, I'm glad I don't look like what I just went through. And he said, well, look, he said, I'm glad to see you. And let me introduce you to a couple of people around here. And they was already just looking to see what was going on. They were curious because Malcolm just lost his wife about a year ago. So who is this girl? So he turns around to everybody. He said, hey, hey, Marsha, Braden, and Jonathan. He said, this is my good friend Zion. We went to college together. And he said, yeah, I'm in town and she lives here, and she wound up stopping by because she was about 15 minutes away, and don't mind her look. Trust me, she cleans up well. And so everybody started laughing. And he was like, oh, my God, how you doing, Zion? And so everybody introduced one another. And so after the introductions, him and Zion walks off to the bar. And they sit there and they catch up on old times. And they're just laughing. And Malcolm says, he said, wow, Zion. He said, whatever. He said, I always think about why we didn't get together. Why we never connected that way? I don't know, Malcolm. I just always looked at you as a friend, and that's just what we always been. I mean, and he said, but I said nothing. She said, what? Go ahead, tell me. I'm not gonna lie. I've always had a crush on you. And I've always thought you were very beautiful, and I just wish more could have came of it. Malcolm, I'm still married, and I don't know if I'm ready for this right now. And he said, no, please don't take it any other way. He said, I just want you to know how I felt. That's all, and there's nothing really to think about. It's just something that I wanted you to know.